Hello and welcome to the Supporting and Enabling Modern Analytics Ecocast event produced by Actual Tech Media. Thank you so much for joining us on the event today. We've got a really cool topic lined up for you and a couple of awesome presenters. You'll hear from experts at Pure Storage and Rapid7 on today's Ecocast. Again, thanks for joining us. Before we kick it off, if you haven't been on one of these events before, there's a few things that you should know. First off, we at Actual Tech Media created the Ecocast and Megacast event series to help educate IT professionals such as yourselves about the latest and greatest in enterprise technology to help you do it quickly and efficiently from the comfort of your home and safely even these days, and to help you get all your questions answered. We know that you out in IT have a challenging life and a challenging job. We're all former IT professionals ourselves at Actual Tech Media, and we know that it can be tough to get your questions answered and your challenges solved. So this event is for you. We encourage your questions in the questions box on the left-hand side of the audience console. We also have a couple of resources there in the handouts tab you should be aware of, and we do want this to be a social event. We also have some awesome prizes. I'll talk about those in just a moment. But when it comes to social, you can tweet directly from your audience console using the Twitter icon on the bottom of the screen. The hashtag for today, which is ATM Ecocast, will be automatically appended. We also encourage you, of course, to follow Actual Tech Media and follow me. I'm David M. Davis over on Twitter. Our social media icons are on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Our YouTube channel, where we post all of the events that we do here at Actual Tech Media. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and our 10 on Tech podcast. You'll also find a link there to our LinkedIn channel, and that's where we post most all of our latest and greatest content. So we encourage you to check that out. I mentioned we have some prizes. Today we'll be giving out 3 Amazon $500 gift cards. You must be live in attendance to qualify for the drawings. Prize terms and conditions can be found in the handouts tab, and I should point out that all prize winners must submit an IRS form W-9 to Actual Tech Media. Through the Ecocast and Megacast event series, we've supported a number of charities, and right now we're supporting the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund and One Tree Planted in partnership with the Gorilla Guide Book Club. You can download full-length educational books over at gorilla.guide. We encourage you to check those out. Those are all published by Actual Tech Media with authors from Actual Tech Media and experts in the industry. So they're a great educational resource. Again, gorilla.guide. Now, before we jump into today's presentation, I want to just do a little bit of stage setting on this topic, supporting and enabling modern analytics. I know this is a hot topic for many of you on the event today. Maybe you have analytics projects that you're trying to implement, and this is new to a lot of companies out there trying to implement kind of large-scale data analytics projects. And so let's just talk about it for a moment to get us all on the same page here. One of the statistics out there in the world actually is around, here we go. This is from the Top 10 Trends in Data and Analytics for 2020 report. And what it says is that by 2023, more than 33% of large organizations will have an analyst practicing design, decisions, intelligence, and decision modeling. So what Gartner is predicting here is that more and more, especially larger organizations, but even medium and smaller organizations to some degree, are implementing these dedicated analytics groups and departments with dedicated analysts who are performing design intelligence and decision modeling to help the company better make decisions. Another statistic around this is by the end of 2024, 75% of enterprises will shift from piloting to operationalizing AI, driving 5 times increase in streaming data and analytics infrastructure. So there's a lot more focus on this, a lot more investment. IT organizations around the world are spending more time and more money in the area of analytics. And there's a lot of different, reasons for this, a lot of different use cases for analytics. For example, security analysis, security detection. That's something that our first presenter on the event today will be honing in on. Business intelligence, customer relationship analytics, logistics tracking, environmental monitoring, risk modeling, quality assurance. There's so many use cases for analyzing data, and there's so much to be gained from it. Just a gold mine, really, if you will. We've all heard the phrase, data is the new oil, if you will, and I think it is true to some degree. It could be a gold mine for many companies out there. But there's also a number of challenges and requirements that need to be met. I mean, you'll need robust hardware and smart software, whether it's on premises or in the cloud, high performance to analyze all of this data, a highly reliable solution, but it also has to be affordable, especially for the medium-sized companies out there who are implementing these types of analytic solutions. But it also needs to be efficient and usable because, analyzing massive amounts of data can be challenging. And we need the lowest ramp-up time possible. We need to provide a return on the investment for analytics solutions as quickly as possible. So before I introduce you to our first presenter, I want to find out, what are your use cases for analytics? And the question on the screen, it should say, what are your analytics use cases? I apologize for that. But I've just listed the use cases that I mentioned in my presentation up there. And, I encourage you to select one, if not multiple use cases, assuming you have a use case for analytics. And I will share the results of this poll with you. And you can kind of see how you stack up with everyone else, the hundreds of IT professionals from across the United States and around the world who are on today's Ecocast event. If you haven't answered a poll before, you should see it right there in the slides window. Just click the option that corresponds to you and your company. If you don't see the poll, push refresh on your web browser, and 99% of the time that will resolve it. Chrome is the recommended web browser, by the way, for these events. All right, I see lots of responses coming in. The last response on there is other use cases not listed. So, if you have a use case that's not listed, just drop it into the questions box, and I will share it with everyone else on there on the event today. So thank you, Deborah, for submitting your use case there. Deborah said patient outcome measures, patient safety measures, adverse events. Very interesting. I'm sure there's got to be a ton of healthcare use cases. You make a great point. That should be added to the list there. A lot of healthcare use cases for analyzing large data sets. All right. Thank you, everyone who responded to that poll. The responses here, looks like 54% said security. That's the top use case, followed by 50% said business intelligence, 32% said customer relationship, 30% risk modeling. So some very interesting use cases there, but security and business intelligence being the top two. We also got feedback here from Ray. Ray said they're using data analytics for marketing new products to customers. Very interesting. I did see that use case mentioned in my research. And then Alex said that they are using analytics for demand forecasting. So thank you for sharing those. We do appreciate it. Final poll question here before I introduce you to our first presenter, and that is kind of what's your time frame for adding new or updating existing IT solutions at your company, specifically in the area of analytics? All right, thank you everyone who responded to the poll question. We do appreciate that. And with that, I'm excited to introduce our first presenter on today's Ecocast, welcoming Mr. Michael McKinley, Security Solutions Engineer at Rapid7. Michael, are you there?
I am.
Thanks for being on the Ecocast, Michael. Take it away.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. So today we're going to be discussing Rapid7, how the Rapid7 Insight platform and our portfolio of solutions can really help, and pull in, give you visibility around some of those data sources that we were talking about just now, since security was the top use case for data in that survey we just took. But in addition to that, you'll notice that it looked like the second, getting a high percentage was, it looked like risk forecasting or risk modeling. So, we play really well in both of those spaces. And getting into that, I think one of the things that we are really striving to do here at Rapid7 is just to support and enable modern analytics, because we know that is essential to security teams. And security teams these days are being asked more and more to do more with less. So we're being asked to do more. There's been a huge shift to remote work as the world has kind of dictated the way that we do things isn't going to be the way that we've always done them lately. But with that push towards remote work, that comes right in the midst of so many organizations who are making a transition to newer technologies. And so you have security teams who are being asked to still maintain and secure that traditional infrastructure, and at the same time get in and actually provide security, and be able to assess risk on new infrastructure and learn a ton that comes along with that. And so, we're being asked to do all of this with smaller budgets, with the same headcount or fewer, and so oftentimes we find that a lot of the practitioners we're talking to are just jumping back and forth between a number of security tools, trying to make sense of the different data sources they have, and at the same time also being responsible to ensure that that data is accurate and is what we need to and want to see. And that's where the Rapid7 Insight platform really can come in and provide a solution. And so the way that we look at that is going to be a comprehensive solution to help assess and address risk within your network and your applications, whether that be on-prem, whether that be looking at, cloud compliance, or whether that be, with your modern-day web applications you're developing. But then in addition to that, along with understanding, where those bad actors might start poking holes or trying to get into our networks, our applications, at the same time, we need to be able to respond in the case that they do, because that's really the name of the game in security these days, is having up-to-date, accurate information that we can take action against. And so with that, I'd like to go through, just at a very high level, a few of the offerings within the Rapid7 Insight platform and how those can benefit, this complex modern security environment where we're being asked to do more with less. So starting off, we want to look at InsightVM. InsightVM is our vulnerability risk management solution. InsightVM and vulnerability management is also the way that Rapid7 the way that we've made a name for ourselves over the past 20 years. InsightVM is going to provide, really an overall comprehensive view of the areas within your network and on individual machines where you might be vulnerable. But in addition to that, there's a number of other helpful features that we've baked in. So the first thing to highlight here at the bottom would be that risk-based prioritization. So rather than asking security engineers to, in addition to their other tasks, to function almost as accountants and jump from spreadsheet to spreadsheet, create complex pivot tables in order to help assess risk based on the context of your unique environment, InsightVM has been set up in a way with the intention of keeping that security professional working within that tool, not jumping back and forth between different solutions or different spreadsheets, by providing a comprehensive view of the risk profile and the risk that's posed by vulnerabilities on your network, vulnerable container images, looking at system configurations and whether that's up to snuff. And in addition to that, InsightVM can be supercharged by leveraging automation in addition. So an example would be InsightVM, we're not only going to show you the areas, within your network where remediation tasks that, would be required, where there are vulnerabilities that need to be remediated, But through an integration with an auto-assisted patching solution like an SCCM or a Big Fix, we can ensure that the record that you have set to push those patches out matches the vulnerabilities, and that's prioritized based off of the risk those vulnerabilities pose to your environment, as well as to each individual asset. Now, one side of the coin, like we were talking about, is just understanding risk, communicating that effectively, mitigating that risk, and remediating that risk by remediating those vulnerabilities. But, that's a really, really monumental task sometimes and can be challenging. So one of the things that, we felt was essential was to be able to respond to those threats in real time, and hence the InsightIDR comes onto the scene and gives us that ability to detect and respond. Now, for years here at Rapid7, we've been saying that users are the edge of your network. That has really come home to roost this year. It's easier for all of us who are working, across the country and the world to understand that, from an IT, from a security perspective, users are the edge of our network now that we're distributed the way that we are. One of the ways that we have sought to speak to that is with InsightIDR, because unlike the traditional SIM, where you are looking specifically at correlating machine behavior, InsightIDR takes the unique approach of correlating user behavior and providing attribution to that machine behavior we're seeing. And we do this with pre-configured rules and as well as with machine learning to help establish that baseline of user activity and then look for anomalies to report on. What this does is, whether you are running this tool internally as an organization or whether you're engaging with our managed detection response service, either one, it gives you the ability to catch these incidents faster and respond in a quicker fashion. And really, that speed to response is the name of the game when it comes to mitigating risk and mitigating the impact that that breach or that incident might have to your environment. Now, one thing I want to point out here is the fact that one of our primary collection methods for those workstations and endpoints is going to be the Insight Agent. The Insight Agent is what gives us the capability to look at not only what's happening from a detection response standpoint, not only to look for unique processes on machines or, to help determine whether or not, this machine's behaving in a way that based off of this user's behavior, we should really investigate. That same agent is feeding vulnerability data back to Insight VM. So we're using the shared infrastructure. And by virtue of doing that, it's going to lower that overall cost that's required to deploy. So when we get back to talking about doing more with less, that's one of the ways Rapid7 is seeking to, meet that requirement that so many teams have. But in addition to that, help provide coverage, complete coverage over your remote workforce. Moving from InsightIDR, our detection response, SIM, and user behavior analytics platform, over to DivvyCloud, the newest member of the Rapid7 family, so to speak. DivvyCloud, it's going to unify security for multiple cloud platforms. Now, what this means is, especially for those organizations who are making that move to the cloud, who are in the process of, living, as a hybrid organization with that traditional on-prem infrastructure and those cloud services, that look different, that feel different, but that still require the same attention from a security standpoint. DivvyCloud allows you to unify that, push out policies, and enforce those policies across multiple cloud environments. So for those of you who are, who don't really want to have to decide between Google Cloud, AWS, and Azure because you like specifics from each service, you don't have to make that decision with regards to a security tool because DivvyCloud can cover all of those environments. And again, it can unify that view and unify your ability to push out one policy that will cover a whole host of cloud providers. So far we've been talking about the underlying infrastructure that is going to support business operations, and that infrastructure is going to host the applications that for so many organizations these days have become the lifeblood of their business. Now, users are the edge of our network. So users users are where we want to monitor, where we want to look just to make sure nobody's getting into our network. But, when we look at other potential ways into our network or other potential harm that can be done to the business, it really does, it benefits us and behooves us to pay attention to good old Layer 7 and really understand the web applications that we're using these days and how those web applications might be vulnerable and how they might provide an attacker an inroad to damage our reputation, to do damage to our business, or just as a means of getting in to get to what they really want to get to, which is the crown jewels within our network, whether that's intellectual property, user data, or what have you. InsightAppSec is an industry-leading data scanner. Now, what this means is, with most applications, as part of the development process, you're going to want to take a look at your code. You're going to want to take a look at your software composition. But once you have deployed that and it's in runtime, you're going to want to understand how that application behaves, and that's where InsightAppSec can come in, because what we can help you do is accurately identify areas that your web apps are vulnerable. And we can do that regardless of framework or how you architected those applications, because, part of what makes us considered the industry leader when it comes to data scanning is our ability to get coverage over a ton of modern frameworks as well as legacy frameworks. So let's say, if you were in the situation where, you look up and 5 years ago, your company had one application. 5 years later now you've got 10, 12, 100 applications across your ecosystem that are built on different frameworks. Maybe some came from acquisition, so they don't even necessarily represent what you would normally go about architecting a technology stack. That's where InsightAppSec can really shine, because it does give you the flexibility to pivot between those applications, assess them for risk, and then track and remediate that risk, similarly to the way that InsightVM does. So it really is that closed loop solution from the application and the vulnerability side, where we can not only identify, but we can track to completion and provide you data points throughout. Not only can we show you where the risk exists, but in addition to that, we can also help to mitigate that risk and track and provide data around that mitigation and around that overall risk reduction, including the ability to provide combined reports around the state of the vulnerability state of your applications, as well as the vulnerable state of your environment. And then in addition to that, with InsightIDR, we're giving you that real-time data, and we're giving you the ability to see in, to jump in and dig through logs if you need to. All the while, though, doing that in a fashion that is set up to provide a seamless user experience, and not feel like you need multiple PhDs in computer science or something to navigate the GUI. So finally, moving into the piece the glue that can hold all of this together. When we're talking about small teams and we're talking about doing more with less, automation is one of the most effective ways to get in there and solve some of these problems when we feel like, we're a little bit short-staffed, or, there might be a process, or there might be people that we need. InsightConnect is our security orchestration and automation platform, and it's designed to support those who have no experience with code but understand, the power of automation. So those individuals, those practitioners, what they can do is we have a number of pre-configured workflows within the extensions library at Rapid7. What that means is, let's say you're working with InsightIDR, with our SIM and user behavior analytics technology. And, one of the gaps you've identified is that, when you see a specific behavior or a specific alert trigger, you want an action to be taken. And you want that action to be taken without a security practitioner needing to go in and press the button. That's where InsightConnect can come in. So, for instance, if we see suspicious behavior from a user, InsightConnect can go in and disable that user in Active Directory, suspend that user from Okta, and then also send over a Slack message identifying those key points to the individual, to the security professional in question, alerting that security professional to what's been done. And even giving the opportunity for, the security analyst or engineer sitting in that seat to respond and reply through Slack to confirm that, this is the route we want, the action we want to take. So InsightConnect has use cases across the entire ecosystem, but really what it's doing is it's empowering not only the security team, but also the rest of IT to help automate processes and really see a return on investment when you think about, a process that might take a human, we'll say, a couple of hours to accomplish. If InsightConnect can do that in 5 minutes, and you start identifying those algorithmic tasks we're all engaged in on a daily basis and automating those away, it can not only provide, an improvement of the quality of life, so to speak, when it comes to that work life for the security professional, but in addition to that, it can be extended across multiple teams and just help assist in the overall effort of IT. So with that, I've been talking for a good clip here. I wanted to thank you for your time today and for listening, but I also wanted to open up the floor to any questions. And so I'd be happy to field any questions that anyone may have around any one of our solutions, Rapid7, or our approach as Rapid7 to the way we develop them, or the way that we provide those services that go right along with application security, incident detection and response, and vulnerability risk management. So I'll open up the floor. Any questions?
Absolutely, yeah. Great presentation, Michael. We do have some questions for you from the audience. While we do that, I'm just going to bring up this poll. I want to call everyone's attention to the poll on the screen. It says, what additional information would you like about the Rapid7 solution? And we'll just leave that up while we take some questions. So we've got some questions rolling in here. First one I want to ask you is, what is most unique about Rapid7's reporting?
That's a great question. So I think what's most unique about Rapid7's reporting is, one, we're going to view the data, that we're pulling in as your data. So we want to get that into your hands in a really actionable, digestible format. Rapid7's reports are designed to be easily understood, as well as easily distributed and easy to kind of put together. Beyond that, though, I think the real value add here is Rapid7 as an organization. We reinvest so much into our research and development that we've actually been dinged on that before because of those investments. And so, when we're thinking about the threat intelligence that, comes out of, our different research initiatives like Project SONAR, that's where we're scanning the entire internet twice a week for vulnerabilities. We can even zero in on, your little chunk of public address space and provide reports around that. Project Heisenberg gives us great insight into, the tactics, the TTP around that malicious actors are using these days, as it is our global network of honeypots. And so when you think about these different research initiatives, as well as our membership as a contributing member to the Cyber Threat Alliance, when you're able to combine the accuracy of the data that we're able to provide along with that threat intelligence and supplement, so that not only do you understand, okay, here are the vulnerabilities in my environment, or here's an alert I'm seeing inside IDR, but when we can wrap that in the context of, and here's what that means in the ever-changing threat landscape that we are going to, tireless efforts to keep an eye on to help provide our customers with the actionable information they need to help prioritize any remediation efforts and to give them data that makes sense in context.
Very nice. Excellent. Yeah, a lot going on there with Rapid7 reporting. Very cool. Let's see. Next question. They're asking, can the Insight platform help secure your remote workforce? I know so many people are working remote now. Can it help in that area?
Absolutely. So the Insight agent is going to be what's key to that, because the Insight agent allows us to continue to maintain visibility into the vulnerability state, or the areas that remote workers' machine might be vulnerable. But in addition to that, the Insight agent is forwarding on that event data, the log data, to Insight IDR. And so we're still able to keep visibility into that remote workforce from an incident detection and response standpoint, as well as from vulnerability management standpoint through the use of the Insight agent.
Nice. And then is there just one trend? I'm sure it's hard to pick one, but that you're seeing over at Rapid7 that you feel like security professionals out there need to keep an eye on?
So the drum we've been beating for years on this is that, users really are the perimeter of your network. I think that right now, with the current state of the world, we're no longer the only ones beating that drum. But it's a core message that we continue to go back to and say, hey, we want to keep an eye on users. We want to make sure that the machines they're using are not vulnerable. We want to make sure the applications they're using are not vulnerable. And we want to make sure when our users log in, it's them logging in, because we want to not only keep our users safe, secure, but understanding how we can better secure that that user base. That's going to shore up the edges of our network and just create better security outcomes in general.
Excellent. And then before we go, I want to kind of come back to this, specifically the trials and the demo. Can you talk for a moment about if folks go and sign up for the trial, like what does that work, or how does that work exactly?
Absolutely. So there's a few different options. We have clients who what they prefer to do is just engage in a self-led trial. We make those available on our website. We'll probably reach out and just make sure that you wouldn't like any assistance while you're going through and testing our solutions. But those trials are typically going to be 30-day. They're full feature function, so you can test out what you need to. So that's one avenue. The avenue that we recommend is really going to be engaging with our team, so that we can get in and provide a demonstration for you of the product, and then so that we can help assist and support you through one of our trials. So the demonstration itself, what that looks like is a brief conversation around goals, what you're looking to solve for, and anything you're currently doing. And then what we do is we tailor that demo to make sure we're speaking specifically to the needs that you've expressed, and really just make sure that we can meet those needs from a technical standpoint. And then once we can, what we'll do at that point is we'll move into a testing phase, that trial where we're there. We'll typically want to meet with you and help you with that. Really, the reason behind that is this. The traditional approach in technology has been to come in and just test out the technology and then say, okay, we're just going to pick what works best. What we're seeing more and more is that a lot more of our clients and prospective clients that are coming to us, they're interested in not only technology, but the experience they're going to have with Rapid7. And so when you engage with us and we can work collaboratively on those trials, you get to not only get a proof of concept or a trial experience with our technology, you get to get that trial experience with our team as well, which I think provides a great benefit and more context around what it would be like moving forward to work together in a partnership.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it's a great opportunity, a free 30-day trial, as well as the demo link is on there as well over at rapid7.com. Michael, excellent presentation. I put some more technical questions there for you in the queue. Maybe you can get back to those. But thank you so much for being on the event today.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
For more information on Rapid7, check out the Rapid7 link. It's right there in your audience console. It's in the Handouts tab. That will take you to Rapid7 Insight Cloud. And from there, you can easily sign up and gain access to either the demo or the trial, and just try the solution out for yourself and see how it can help to better secure your IT organization and your company's data. And with that, I'm excited to introduce our first Amazon $500 gift card winner. That is Chandra Thames from Mississippi. Congratulations, Chandra Thames from Mississippi. 2 more gift cards still to give out on the event today, so make sure you stay tuned for those. And now I'm excited to introduce our next presenter on today's Ecocast. That is Mr. Nathan Antons, Senior Solutions Marketing Manager for Analytics at Pure Storage. Nathan, take it away.
Everyone, and welcome. I'm here today to introduce and talk to you about a new category of data storage that is changing the way we think about how we store data for analytics applications. How did we get here? The era of big data has enabled companies to analyze massive amounts of data to improve operations, customer experiences, and bring new ideas to market. But there have been challenges. Architectures that were built to store data, typically using direct attached storage, can become complex to manage as they scale. Performance and delivery expectations change as more applications are adopted and drive new business insights. Data silos begin to appear for new applications and data sources, creating inefficiencies and stretching administrative resources. These challenges drove a group of innovators at Pure to evaluate the need to bring an all-flash storage solution to data-centric, unstructured workloads. Big data was driving change across the industry, but infrastructure architectures were dominated by big, slow disks. The opportunity had arrived to rethink infrastructure for unstructured data with an all-flash architecture. But what is the opportunity presented to organizations that address these challenges of analyzing new volumes of data? Where do we go from here? As we move forward, the powerful benefits of analytics investments have been made clear, not just to operational efficiency, but to top-level objectives across organizations. Pure has sponsored research by ESG that shows how companies are benefiting from their investments in analytics. For this research report, ESG grouped organizations into 3 categories by the level of their analytics investments, where Stage 3 companies have the most mature investments, followed by Stage 2, and then Stage 1, representing the least mature analytics investments. Through a survey, they then compared the business performance of Stage 3 companies relative to companies with less mature investments. The results are astounding. Stage 3 organizations are 4.8 times more likely than Stage 1 to outperform competitors on revenue from new products. Stage 3 organizations are 3.2 times more likely than Stage 1 to report analytics investments drove higher customer satisfaction scores than their peers. And Stage 3 organizations are 2.4 times more likely than Stage 1 to have increased revenue per employee over the past 2 years. By the way, it should be noted that these mature companies are also heavy investors in all-flash solutions. So how can Pure work with companies that want to advance their analytics investments, and how do our innovators address the challenges we previously stated about analytics deployments? We did this by looking at not only a platform, but indeed a new category of storage, unified fast file and object. The challenge, in fact, to be addressed by IT administrators is bigger than big data. Modern applications are different. Traditional applications often use scale-up resources, but modern applications are deployed as scale-out microservices, changing the way we procure and deploy infrastructure. These current workloads manifest with data that is growing rapidly, with an increased variety of file and object sizes, counts, and profiles, requiring native multi-protocol support. The growth of microservice-based architectures and the rise of containers and object storage have created a need for a new category of storage that services the new ways in which applications are being created, deployed, and managed. Further demand for this storage is fueled by the use of cloud-native operations on-prem. At the same time, we see that the data requirements for these applications are driven by the need for a multi-protocol, high-performance storage foundation that can service a wide variety of applications and data services. This storage unifies file and object to consolidate data silos into a single scale-out resource, but also ensures native high-performance capabilities to in turn ensure that a new generation of applications can be delivered with the consistency and performance demanded of business-critical applications. This category gives administrators greater agility with simplified deployments, faster results for end users with high performance, and greater efficiency with consolidation. Pure FlashBlade delivers a unified fast file and object storage platform that addresses these needs of digital transformation. Bringing together the simplicity, performance, and consolidation of unified fast file and object is necessary to meet the demands of modern applications at scale. Simplicity is a pervasive need across IT organizations. Adding functionality to support modern applications at the cost of complexity diminishes the very value of that new functionality. High performance that is more consistent across workloads and data types enables the delivery of business-critical applications with confidence. Unifying file and object into a scale-out pool consolidates data silos to create greater efficiencies, which are again necessary to scale with rapidly growing amounts of data. Let's talk in more detail about how FlashBlade is designed with these considerations in mind. At Pure, we see simplicity as a means to focus on the human experience of technology and data, and how customers can reduce friction in their daily lives. For this reason, we create platforms that are AI-driven. AI is leveraged across all of Pure technologies to provide a level of predictive support that leverages actionable intelligence to alert customers and Pure support of potential problems before they arise. Find out about problems before they occur and allow Pure support services to proactively address them. We have platforms that are easy to set up and easy to scale. With FlashBlade, you're scaling out blades, not nodes. It's easy to scale out and add performance and capacity, and a single system can have up to 150 blades. Unlike many other scale-out solutions, FlashBlade also comes with networking built in. This includes interconnectivity inside each chassis that can span multiple chassis, and remove the need to configure and connect every node to a core switch, significantly decreasing complexity and cost. Pure is evergreen. With Pure's evergreen technology and business model, organizations can ensure that their FlashBlade stays fresh and modern, with ongoing software and hardware upgrades that can be performed non-disruptively. No forklifts required here. The massive growth of unstructured data requires a high-performance storage foundation that will allow organizations to achieve high throughput and low latency. This means all-flash object and file storage. They also require a solution that can address the needs of modern data and modern applications, which are different when compared to traditional object or file storage solutions. For this reason, we have a platform that is tuned for everything. From small and metadata heavy to large streaming files, FlashBlade is designed to deliver maximum uncompromised performance. FlashBlade offers predictable, ultra-fast performance for any access pattern, random or sequential. Long gone are the days of fine-tuning a system to a specific workload or to address multiple workloads. FlashBlade was built to take on whatever it is you want to throw its way and more. Multi-dimensional performance. While all flash technologies offer significant performance increases over the traditional storage array based on disk or even direct attached storage, FlashBlade takes us a few steps further by offering multi-dimensional performance that spans across data sets and sizes. Small files, large files, no problem. This platform is massively parallel. Just as modern distributed systems have been designed to work together to solve some of the world's most complex challenges, such as climate change, financial forecasting, and genetic sequencing, FlashBlade leverages massive parallelism to increase performance across all aspects of computational storage needs. In addition, this level of parallelism contributes to massive performance that scales as the system scales. The storage industry has traditionally offered tailor-made systems that were deployed as point solutions or into segmented silos of infrastructure that resulted in operational complexity, stranded resources, and costly complex data management scenarios. Combining both object and file support on a common platform that is implemented best-of-breed file and object services to operate independently of each other affords customers the chance to consolidate multiple disparate applications and data requirements instead of deploying ad hoc or bespoke systems to meet their needs. FlashBlade offers cloud-like efficiency. FlashBlade is a unified fast file and object storage platform that delivers on-prem, cloud-optimized storage services for modern data and modern applications. Simplicity, elastic, and scalability are all hallmarks of what makes the public cloud attractive. Customers looking to mimic those same benefits on premises can use FlashBlade as the storage foundation for their own cloud initiatives. FlashBlade is a scale-out platform. It's a truly scale-out storage platform that was designed to take advantage of modern workloads that require linear scalability and performance without trade-offs, delivering a single namespace that can start small, around 100 terabytes, and scale to over 7 petabytes before data reduction techniques are applied. Initial customer investment can be as small as 7 blades in a single chassis, spanning out to up to 150 blades across 10 4RU chassis in a single rack. FlashBlade offers programmatic multi-protocol support. Multi-protocol support is afforded to a FlashBlade customer who is taking advantage of IP-based storage in their environment. Native support for NFS, SMB, and S3 are all provided and can be leveraged one at a time or in parallel. A fully featured RESTful API stack is also available for customers looking towards a more programmatic approach to their modern application development and deployment. So when we look at this in totality, we see that our customers are often starting with one workload and are increasingly realizing that they have more than one use case that unified fast file and object can address. This isn't so much a question these days of this or that, especially if this requires additional silos, but of this and that. Consider this hypothetical scenario where a customer is looking to reduce silos for analytics, DevOps, and data protection. They may begin with pure flash recover powered by Cohesity to address rapid restore use cases as a fast file deployment. Applications such as Splunk SmartStore and Vertica and Eon Mode have been re-architected to leverage fast object storage. This customer can then use that same platform to deploy security analytics or Vertica analytics over fast object. We increasingly see cloud-native application design principles leveraging both fast file and fast object. The key takeaway here is that fast file and fast object on the same platform and offers investment protection, consolidation, and simplicity for organizations that are growing their unstructured data footprint. We in fact have a recent example of a customer that began with a data protection solution and is planning on using Pure Storage to expand to analytics use cases. ServiceNow Enterprise Cloud Infrastructure supports more than 6,200 customized customer instances, handling 64 billion database queries, 291 million HTTP requests, 46 million API calls, and 571 terabytes of backup data in a single hour. This is a massive operation. With 2.4 million backups and more than 5,000 database restores every month, the cloud capacity team spent all its time containerizing the infrastructure so that if a disk failed, it wouldn't affect the broader environment. It also took a long time to create test environments for customers as they deployed new features. ServiceNow adopted Pure Storage FlashBlade as a rapid restore solution, which immediately shrank the data center footprint, reduced downtime, and accelerated restore times from hours or days to seconds. That enables the existing team to manage a storage environment that is 10 times larger. With faster restores, ServiceNow can deliver test runs to customers 4 times faster, while virtually eliminating management overhead, saving the team tens of thousands of hours every year. ServiceNow has since migrated all production backups to a combination of Pure Storage FlashBlades and FlashArrays, becoming the first cloud provider to make an all-flash data center a reality, using modern technology to deliver a superior customer experience. Because of this success, the company is planning on deploying Splunk, Elastic ELK, and machine learning initiatives on Pure Storage. Now that we have looked at the broader benefits of UFFO, what are some additional benefits that we would see with analytics applications? Because of the flexibility of unified fast file and object, it is possible to deploy the solution across file and object use cases spanning IT operations analytics, data warehouse, streaming data, and more. Tier 1 management and flexible procurement options are supported by FlashBlade across all of these environments. Pure Storage partners, in turn, with leading vendors to deliver fast and reliable solutions that unlock business value and decrease deployment risk. Let's look at how UFFO addresses common challenges to analytics deployments with these applications through simplicity, performance, and consolidation. Management simplicity is a foundational principle for Pure. IT organizations are often drowning in management of volumes, cluster pairs, aggregates, and flash caches. Our goal with FlashBlade was a design so simple that anyone can manage it at any scale. Not just IT personnel and storage administrators, but also developers, data scientists, engineers, or anyone else. Additionally, these workloads can have large or changing data sets, increasing the importance of scaling without complexity. Again, when we talk about FlashBlade being easy to set up and easy to scale, you can easily scale out capacity and performance for applications that are facing particularly rapid increasing amounts of data as you grow from terabytes to support petabytes of data and billions of objects in a single system simply by adding blades, all managed by a single IP address. With easy installations and upgrades and no required performance tuning, FlashBlade operations are simple. Maintenance operations, software upgrades, and capacity expansions run without disruption. Evergreen storage enables storage that's deployed once and non-disruptively upgraded as needed for a decade or more without the need to rebuy a terabyte or controllers that you already own. Forget downtime, performance impact, or data migrations. We've engineered a compatibility for future technologies directly into the product itself. Pure as a Service offers storage as a service for flexible on-premises consumption. for customers that are looking for a cloud-like experience with FlashBlade. High performance for analytics applications is necessary for faster insights with larger sets of data. FlashBlade is architected so that it is always fast for small or large files and has performance that scales with your data. You can look for more consistent performance between file and object with the native file and object functionality offered by FlashBlade. This helps if you're looking at running multiple workloads or want the investment protection of a system that runs fast file and object as you look to migrate to newer applications. FlashBlade is a high throughput system that increases linearly with scale. You can minimize concerns about working with growing data sets and high rates of ingest for real-time data by simply adding blades. You can also use FlashBlade to speed analytics at any scale. The consolidation of cold or archived tiers speeds complex queries and historical searches to enable the use of more of your data for organizational insights. Our UFFO platform not only offers the benefits of consolidation of disparate data silos, it also offers the efficiency of disaggregated storage. By scaling compute and storage independently, you can efficiently add only the resources that are needed. It is also possible to add compute on demand if required. This disaggregated architecture also enables administrators to scale and maintain infrastructure resources without causing expensive rebuild and rehydration operations that can occur in analytics applications with legacy approaches. Additionally, another consolidation benefit of this approach is the ability to scale your IT team resources by using similar technology stacks for on-premises and off-premises deployments. This can help drive the deployment of cloud-native applications with consistency and control that might not always be available off-premises. It also gives IT organizations the agility to look at on-premise and off-premise deployments as meets the needs for various applications. Thank you for listening. I hope we've been able to share a few key ways that UFFO can help change the way you're using increasing amounts of business data for fast insights at your organization. I encourage you to find out more about how UFFO and analytics solutions from Pure can power analytics at your businesses by visiting these sites. PureStorage.com/FlashBlade to learn more about FlashBlade. PureStorage.com Analytics to learn more about our analytics solutions. And finally, you can also experience FlashBlade for yourself by taking a test drive. We'll provide the link for this resource if you're interested in our resource section for this webinar. Again, thank you.
All right, great presentation, Nathan. I really appreciate that. Let's do some Q&A here with the audience. If you have a question about the Pure Storage solution, Pure Storage as a service, a FlashBlade, now's the time to get it in. I've just brought up a poll question for everyone out there in the audience. I want to call your attention to what additional information would you like about the Pure Storage solution? So Nathan, you ready for some Q&A?
Sure.
Awesome. So let's see, first question I see that came in here, they're asking what workloads other than analytics are supported on FlashBlade Unified Fast File and Object Storage?
Great, thanks for the question. As we had mentioned earlier in the presentation, FlashBlade is an ideal platform also for data protection and DevOps solutions, but you could also think about high performance compute, EDA, AI, and more.
Excellent. And there's a question out here from Alex in the audience. He's asking, can I run ERP data like SAP on Pure Storage solutions?
So you can run file and object are supported. This is not a block platform. If you were looking for that support, that would be on FlashArray. Got it.
Okay. Sounds like Pure Storage could offer a solution one way or the other, though.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. And then next question, they're asking about the test drive. I know over in the handouts tab here, we have a link to purestorage.com. It takes folks to a real quick, short sign-up page here to sign up for the test drive. Can you kind of walk us through, if folks do that, what happens next? What do they receive?
Great. Yeah, it looks like, thank you for getting the form up on the resource section. All it takes is a web browser, and you'll see that on the site as well. You complete the form, you get sent an access code, and then you can launch the test drive. You'll be able to start setting it up through our Pure One management interface, and add the functionality and see how this can work for you.
Excellent. And before we go, I just want to touch on something that always catches my eye in the Pure Storage presentations that might be a little missed by some folks out there, and that is Pure as a Service. Can you kind of remind us again exactly the value of Pure as a Service? It seems like the best of both worlds to me.
Yeah, what's important to think about, especially with the FlashBlade platform, is when you're looking for elastic resources, a scale-out platform is one way that you can build out over time. But also, if you want to have as a service consumption options on top of that, Pure as a Service is something that you can look forward to. I think it's been across the industry for some time now. You're going to have CapEx budget and OpEx budgets, and you're looking at what fits your business model and what is the closest fit given your budgeting concerns. So we're just providing additional tools that can meet a broader range of customer needs.
Excellent. Yeah, I really like that model there, Pure as a Service, consumption-based model, but you still get on-premises storage to go along with it. So best of both worlds. All right. Well, congratulations on the exciting new FlashBlade test drive link here. I want to encourage everyone to check out. It's there in the handout section. You can just fill out this quick form, and you'll gain access, just like Nathan said, in your web browser to see the solution for yourself, play around with it. So really cool stuff that you all are doing at Pure. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask one question regarding Alex's earlier question. We have some great information on SAP solutions that were a little bit outside the scope of this presentation. Would it be possible just to follow up and make sure we send them out there as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. We'll follow up with you, Alex. We'll forward your info to Nathan, and he can get back to you on running ERP on Pure Storage, because I'm sure it would be a great solution.
Thank you.
So, all right. Well, Nathan, thank you so much for being on the event today. Again, great presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
For more information, check out, again, that test drive link that's there in your handouts tab, and sign up for the FlashBlade test drive and see it for yourself. And with that, it's time for our final gift card announcement. We have 2 Amazon $500 gift cards, one going to Patrick Bland from Illinois, and the other going to Stephen Edding from Wisconsin. Congratulations. Patrick from Illinois and Stephen from Wisconsin will reach out to you to deliver those gift cards. Before you go, I want to remind everyone that we have a really big event coming up next week. It's happening on Thursday, November the 12th, starting at 11 a.m. We're starting a little bit earlier than usual because we're going to have so many presentations. The topic is Architecting the Pillars of IT in 2021. You don't want to miss this event. You'll hear from 12 of the hottest companies in the industry today on that event, 12 vendors back-to-back, as well as independent expert content and some awesome prizes. Again, check your email inbox for an invitation to that event, or after today's event, you will be automatically redirected to our events landing page where you can register for this event. We'll be announcing the winners of 5 PlayStation 5 digital editions, 5 Samsung Galaxy Fold 2 phones. That's a folding phone. 5 iPad Airs, and 5 Oculus Quest 2 VR kits, plus 3 $100 gift cards every 30 minutes. It's going to be a huge event. Hope to see you on the virtual summit, Architecting the Pillars of IT in 2021. Thank you again to Pure Storage and Rapid7 for their expert presentations on today's Ecocast, supporting and enabling modern analytics. And of course, thank you to everyone out there in the audience for taking time to join us on the event today. Thank you. I see Marcus, Edward, Parveen, Kathy, so many of you out there. Howard, thank you for all your comments, all your questions. I hope to see you next week on the summit. Have a great day. Bye-bye.